You know, I often hear from students that arpeggios sound too jazzy to them, and they have trouble incorporating them into their rock and blues playing, but we can make them sound like this. Or like this. And like this. And even like this. What I was doing in those examples was incorporating what the great instructor Barry Harris called pivot arpeggios. Pivot arpeggios are a great way to build licks and phrases from the arpeggios we already know. We're basically going to repurpose those 4-note arpeggios. We'll combine them with a little bit of minor pentatonic perhaps and add some overdrive, and voila, we're not sounding so jazzy anymore. We're going to focus on G7 arpeggios in this lesson, but this concept will work for any 4-note arpeggio like a major 7, minor 7 flat 5 even. So before we create a pivot arpeggio, let's review what an arpeggio might look like. For instance, like a G7 arpeggio, since that's what we're working with in those licks that I played and what you guys will be able to download and try for yourself. Now let's take a look at that G7 arpeggio starting on the 6th string, 3rd fret. There's your G. I use my second finger, then I'm gonna play a B and a D, and you got a triad right there. So you have a B and a D on the 5th string, 2nd and 5th frets. And then we wanna add our 4th note to the arpeggio, which is an F on the 3rd fret, 4th string. And we're gonna take that up another octave with a G on the, it's gonna be 4th string, 5th fret, then the B, then the D. If you've seen that triad, you're good to go on the 3rd and 2nd strings, 4th and 3rd frets. Now we need an F on the 2nd string, 6th fret, and then our octave right there, our final octave. So we have 3 in that position, G, G, and G. And it's important to know where these G's are because that's pivotal to the pivot. So we take our G right here, we're gonna start on that one, and we're gonna play the chord tones in that arpeggio an octave lower. So instead of going here, we're gonna start on this G, and we're gonna do that. So we'll play the G, the octave below B, D, and F. And what I like to do for this move is to start with my pinky on the G. It makes everything a little bit more attainable. Now, you don't have to swing it and play it jazzy. Let's rock it up a little bit so you could play a little bit, maybe like a funkier rock groove. Put a little pentatonic, lick or two with it, and it might sound something like this. So I launched into it by playing and any little pentatonic idea like that attached to it. So right off the bat or out of the gate, you get sort of a more interesting sound. And that's reminiscent of what I played in the beginning of the video. You can also do it here. You can play a G there and then go to the octave below for the B, the D, and the F. I don't use that as much, but it's a perfectly legal pivot arpeggio. You could do a little swing number like that. It's a simple, subtle move that you are gonna get some mileage out of, and it's a way to kind of start repurposing the arpeggios you already know. You know, learning arpeggios all over the guitar can be a pretty arduous task, but I put a course together that really maps out how to find major 7, minor 7, dominant 7, and minor 7 flat 5 arpeggios all over the guitar. It's called the Ultimate Arpeggio Workout, and it's on sale for 60% off with those links in the description or comments. Go check it out. So let's really make sure we understand this concept with one of those licks that I played earlier. Again, they're all transcribed for you, and this is the first one that I think will make a lot of sense because we've already kind of seen how it's gonna lay out on the guitar. It goes like this, 3, 4. Now, we're gonna take that pivot arpeggio starting on the G. I like to use my pinky there, and I'm gonna grab the B down on the 5th fret, 5th string, 2nd fret, then the D on the 5th fret, 5th string. So there's your pivot going to the 4th string, 3rd fret F. Now what I do is I'm gonna slide in from the 3rd fret, 3rd string. So think of that as like a minor pentatonic note. Sliding into a B, you could think of that as a major pentatonic note or as part of the arpeggio. So far we have 3, 4. Now what I want to do here is play this D, follow the arpeggio, which is also minor pentatonic notes, D, F, G, and then up to a G on the 2nd string, 8th fret. So again, we start with the pivot, G, then we go down low. What you'll find is as you're playing these arpeggios, you'll see notes that are connected to them that are also connected to the minor pentatonic scale. Okay, it's kind of the best of both worlds. That's why I love arpeggios so much. So that lick in its entirety, 3, 4. Now, if you wanted to shuffle it, you could do something like, two, 3, 4. What I really like to do, maybe we'll turn the gain up, put the bridge pick up on. Completely different riff now, okay? Really, really fun. You do something like that. I add a little palm muting. And if your tempo is like this, a 1, or maybe you're doing a shuffle, a 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can start to add it to your blues rock playing, your rock playing, all that kind of stuff. And it's important. One of my favorite things to do is to take some of this more jazzy phrasing and bring it into a blues rock world, because sometimes we say, well, that's jazz, I can't play that. There's gold in that stuff. You just got to figure it out. Hopefully I can help you do that. So I hope you dug that lesson. If you can't tell, I'm kind of a fanatic with arpeggios. They really have become a part of what I might call my sound. As I grow and develop as an improviser, I lean on them more and more, and fun things like the Pivot Arpeggio help me to create new sounds that I didn't have before. Hopefully they'll help you and you'll have fun with them. So don't forget to check out the links, grab the free stuff, maybe like and subscribe. I don't even say that anymore, but go for it. Why not? Then you'll at least see the videos come up in your feed that I put out. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for hanging out. I'll see you next time.